Good afternoon, Rich Nass with Embedded Computing Design. I'm at ARM TechCon and I'm with Stefan Skarin, who is the CEO of IAR. Hello, Stefan.
Hi, Rich.
You may or may not know, Stefan is the brains behind the IAR DevCons. Technical conferences that are being put on around the world where we teach people how to write better code and do lots of other things, which is where I want to take this discussion. Code quality, we keep coming back to that. Why is that still an issue with the tools that are available to somebody today?
I think it's of several aspects. I think that the industry has been driving complexity. So I think it's not only the complexity in the size of code or the length of code. There's been a trend in optimization, size of code, speed of code. We had the power measurements as well. So I think complexity is one thing. It's becoming more and more difficult. I had one customer actually at the DevCon saying, Stefan, if I should start an ARM project, I need to read a manual of 400 pages with installations before I get started. So the risk that something goes wrong when you do things, it's not intentionally, but of course you need to do what you need to do to get the product to work. So with that, it's an effort, it takes time. Usually the engineers under time pressure, time to market, I want to do this, I have a deadline, and then you have the risk that something goes wrong.
Right.
So it's actually then to tell to the engineers and saying, okay, less risk exposure, keep time to market, and we have some new tools since a few years, but we see the trend in today that when we launched code analysis tools, we also increase interest in coding standards like Mistra, for example. We have also more and more customers using the latest C standards, again, coming into code quality. So I would say it's the magnitude for an engineer to need to spend more time where they have less time. At the same time, the risk in something going wrong.
Okay, so while the tools are getting better, the hardware is getting more and more complex. Are we on that path where they're equal, or is the complexity growing faster than the tools are getting better?
I think that there was one customer actually saying to me that the level of importance of the software in their project has now passed 50%. And then it's also coming back to some of the applications that they are developing is also requiring another need of tools when you move into certification. So certification standards are becoming more and more popular as well, which means that the tool selection is a different thing as well, because you need to have a certified tool.
Now we have this other train coming down the tracks, security. It's becoming a must-have. It isn't just a nice to have anymore. Now it's a must-have. Is the industry set up for success in the security space?
Yes and no. I think that still a lot of things to learn. Still a lot of things where if you address the topic of nice to have to need to have, when you want to sell a tool to ensure or to improve code quality, you're also almost offending the engineer and saying your code is not enough quality. So that's not good. But when you look at our history and say, okay, we have basically digitalized our customers. We've gone from a copper cable into a microcontroller thermostat. It's saying also, do you want your IP to be protected? You spent 20 years in developing something. Do you want it to disappear? Do you want someone to steal it? Do you want something to sort of do, reverse engineer it and you lose it? So we see a trend with security that you start with code quality, you move into protecting people and property and going into functional safety, and then you take that step further into security. But from a sales perspective, it's great to come to our customer and say, we digitalized your product, do you want to protect it? Who says no to a question like that?
Have we moved past the point of being reactive into proactive, or are we still at we've been hacked, we need to fix this?
I think there are the companies saying we've been hacked. There's a company saying we don't know, and we'll take that burden when it comes. We see most of the customers that we have a security demand is actually the ones being hacked. And they all want to fix it, but it's like you're breaking in at your house. We should have had that alarm. Now we get it, okay? So it's a kind of visibility into what it is actually.
And you know a lot about security because you made an acquisition not too long ago.
Yes.
Just briefly tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's I have a vision, and my vision is not only to support our customer through the DevCons, it's also through listening to their demands. And security is coming up as a hot topic. It's a transition from code quality functionality into security, as I mentioned. So for us to do the merger and to have a shared vision that you need to do what we think security from inception. You need to do it from the very beginning. You need to do it in the fingertips or the fingertips of the engineers. And that's why we don't call it an acquisition, we call it a merger. We call it a shared vision. We want to do something together with secure things. So even though we keep the brands separate because they are the experts in the industry on security, we still want to sort of merge technologies to make sure that all the customers can use the technology.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.